Hey there, everyone. Lewis here for Brock Improv, here with another lesson. And what we are going to be talking about today is making strong offers. What I mean by that is not the really big, bold, powerful offers that drive scenes forward, but offers that make the scene feel comfortable, that make it feel real, that bring it towards a satisfying conclusion and make it fun to be in, both for the improvisers and fun to watch for the audience. Now, the reason we need to know this is because when people aren't making strong offers, I mean, we've all been in these scenes where it feels like nothing's happening, where you're sitting around and you're talking, but nothing's progressing. There aren't any stakes or conflict, and you feel stuck. And that's what happens when no one's making strong offers. That's what we call waffling. And I'm hoping that I'm able to give you the tools to save yourselves and avoid those sorts of situations today. And so, in order to talk about what makes an offer strong, I'm going to be dividing offers into three different categories, rough categories, because each of these different kinds of offers has a different purpose and are thus strong in a different way. And these are big offers, small offers, and absurd offers. Now, start with big offers. Big offers are the choices that move a scene forward, the sort of the meat and potatoes of the scene. Big offers and new information that still fits within the context of the scene. And they drive it towards its conclusion. These are things like raising the stakes, like creating conflict, like resolving conflict. These are big offers. Now, there are also small offers, and these are the little details that flesh out a scene. These add color and flavor and verisimilitude, and they make the scene feel alive and lived in. And these are things like giving people names and set dressing. There's a table, there's a door, it opens this way. Little bits of tasking in the scene, for instance, if you're a chef and you're having a conversation that is unrelated to your chefing, but you're still there chopping away at your vegetables and throwing them in a pot, that's a small offer, and it makes the world feel real. And lastly, there are absurd offers. Absurd offers are, again, quite large, powerful offers, and they're very similar to big ones. But the big difference between a big offer and an absurd offer is that a big offer is contextual. It makes sense in the scene, and it follows the through line of the drama. An absurd offer does not. It comes out of left field and injects completely new information and completely new context into the scene. These are things like a completely unrelated crisis, like a magical solution to a problem. These are absurd offers. Now, let's talk about what makes each of them strong. Now, a strong, small offer, these are the things that make a scene feel real and comfortable, and they lend everything a certain amount of comfortability. When you're in a scene and you're making good, strong, small offers, then everyone sort of understands the context of the scene they're in. Everyone knows the space that they're working within. In addition, a strong, small offer adds information that is not yet necessarily important, but gives improvisers another tool to play with later, something that can be brought back to make a big offer and really drive the scene forward. Strong, big offers, these are things that progress the scene towards its conclusion in a way that is satisfying. Strong, big offers make sense within the context of the scene. And strong big offers give further inspiration to your fellow improvisers. You want a big offer to not just end a part of the scene, but to springboard them into the next part of the scene so that everyone's feeling good, progressing into the next stage of the drama. And lastly, strong absurd offers. These are about their energy. A strong absurd offer excites the audience. A strong absurd offer, it adds a new level or a new kind of energy to a scene. And a strong absurd offer provides lots of new space for the improvisers to play in. A good, strong, absurd offer is something that really gives everyone new information, a new injection of inspiration that, really inspires them to play more. And the nice thing about absurd offers when they're done well is that they're usually really funny because, as we know, humor is partially about the subversion of expectations, and that's exactly what an absurd offer does. Now, of course, if there are ways to do an offer in a strong way, you can also do it in a weak way. And these all have their own sorts of pitfalls that you can fall into if you're not being careful. A weak, small offer is honestly difficult to do. If you're just doing set dressing, it's usually strength neutral, so to speak. However, it can be done, and if you're making a lot of weak, small offers, it can clutter up the scene, and they can draw attention away from the things that are actually interesting and actually important, and they distract from moving the drama forward. Weak, big offers. These are things that do not draw upon or outright ignore the previous information that's in the scene. This is what we call bulldozing. When you have an idea for how you want the scene to go, and come hell or high water, that's what you're going to work with, regardless of what other people are contributing to the scene. And obviously, improv is a partnership, and we really want people to be working together, especially since that particular kind of weak, strong, or weak, big offer is something that breaks verisimilitude. When you get rid of information that people have been working with, it takes both the audience out of the scene, because what they've been seeing suddenly doesn't matter anymore, or it takes the improvisers out of the scene because their contributions don't matter, and they will feel like they don't matter, and they'll lose investment in the scene. The other thing that a weak, big offer can do is it shuts down the space of ideas. When this happens, when you move on to the next stage of the scene and you say, okay, everything that we've been doing is great, and now it's done. Put a lid in it, moving on to the next thing. And it shuts down play. We really want to avoid shutting down play, because play is fun. And lastly are absurd offers, and these have the biggest pitfalls and the largest opportunity to be weak offers. What happens when a weak, absurd offer is made is that it takes over the scene, and the work that's been done previously gets abandoned. If you're doing a fun bit of film noir murder mystery set in the 1920s, and someone's a dame and someone's wearing a fedora and you're all having a good time, and then someone comes up and says, "Hello, I am an alien. I'm from Mars. I have come to recruit you all for the robot wars." Well, they get a laugh at that moment because it's silly and out of nowhere. But all that murder mystery, all that noir gets shoved out the window. All the work that has been done at this point to build tension and drama is gone, and now your scene's about Mars and the giant robot wars, which can be fun, but it's a waste of all the work that has already been done. The other way that absurd offers are weak are when they solve your problems too easily. This is what an old teacher of mine called being clever. These are magic solutions. When you're just pulling answers out of your ass because you can't think of a contextually appropriate ending. And sometimes these can be a good way to just tilt and end the scene because it's funny if people have run out of ideas and you need to get to your conclusion. But they can also just, like the other way that absurd offers can be weak, ruin all the work that has been done before. You see these semi-often when you get to the end of a scene and someone says, "Oh, it was all a dream," or "It was someone hallucinating on drugs." You're invalidating all the work that was done until this point. So that's how all these kinds of offers can be strong and weak, and it's important that you know this so that you can go in and be mindful when you're trying to make offers. This isn't about specific choices or about technical skills. It's about going into a scene and being conscious of the ways that your choices and your offers will affect it. And you can ask yourselves these questions. Are you enriching a scene, or are you bogging it down? Are you making new space to play in, or are you cutting it off? Are you raising the stakes, or are you foregoing them in favor of new ones? And are you solving your problems, or are you just waving them away? And these are good questions to ask yourself consciously before you make these offers, until eventually the process gets internalized and these are just things that you are aware of and do automatically because you want to be making strong offers. And like all things in improv, this should all be taken with a bit of understanding. You don't need to follow these rules hard and fast. There are always exceptions to be made, but it's important that you know the rules so that when you break them, you are breaking them deliberately and knowingly. There are fun ways that you can play with these rules. I mean, you can make scenes that are entirely small offers and they just build up and create something out of the cumulative effort that you've all put in. And you can have a lot of fun with absurd offers that completely throw wrenches into scenes because it's really fun for the audience to watch improvisers scramble to try to deal with new information and new contexts. So you can do this, but it takes buy-in from your fellow improvisers, and it takes knowledge of how to do it well. Because, of course, what we're trying to do here is have fun. And you're going to have more fun if you're making stronger choices. And hopefully, this lesson has given you the tools necessary to do all that. Thank you all for tuning in. I've been Lewis for Brock Improv. Cheers.